Good Shabbos, everyone. So almost 2 weeks ago, my daughter graduated from the University of Oregon in Eugene. Thank you. Being that it was over 1,000 miles away, we had to make a lot of plans. We had to get the family there, book hotel rooms, get a rental truck, and plan a party for after the ceremony. There were a lot of moving parts and details that had to be attended to. So I had to keep track of all those details. I set up a timeline on a Google Doc and shared it with everyone involved in the graduation weekend so that they would have all the details and the timeline. I was set. Amy was going to come home while she looked for a job, so we had to move her out of her apartment that she'd been living in for the last 3 years. We went back and forth on storing her stuff or bringing it home because she was hoping to stay in the Portland area once she found a job. We finally decided that we were going to bring it home because she couldn't live without any of it. We settled, so I rented a moving truck and put it on my timeline. So a party was planned, rentals were rented, food was ordered, and we were again set. Plans were put on the Google Doc and shared with the group. I had all my I's dotted and T's crossed. I could just sit back and enjoy the weekend, or so that's what I thought. But as you know, things don't always turn out as you plan, even if you put it on a Google Doc. So let's talk about the best laid plans of this week's Torah portion, Balak. Balak, king of Moab, hears of the Israelites' victories over the other nations, and knowing that the Israelites are mighty and more numerous than the Moabs, he sends for Balaam, a well-known pagan prophet with special powers to bless and curse. But God had other plans too. God forbids Balaam to curse the Israelites, for they are a blessed nation. Balak sends messengers again and again to ask Balaam and offers him anything that he wishes. But again, he refuses, stating that he cannot go against the command of God. God tells Balaam finally to go with the messengers, but to only say the words that he commands. 3 times Balaam is asked to go curse the Israelites, and 3 times God placed blessings in his mouth. Balak was furious because his plan did not come to fruition. Balaam then gave him some advice with the hopes of still collecting his fee, because after all, he was also a greedy man. If you want to destroy the Jewish people, he said, entice the men with the Moabite women and tell them not to submit until they bow down to idols. Balak followed this advice, and the Israelites were led astray. This angered God, so he brought a plague against the Israelites, wiping out 24,000 men. It appears that God's best laid plan to bless the Israelites ended up not working out too well, because the plague wiped out so many men, thus causing to curse them in the end. To sum up this portion, Balak's plans to curse the Israelites were foiled by God, blessing them in the end. His plan worked out because Balaam gave them a way to destroy the Israelites, causing God to curse them, and then brought a plague upon them, so it all worked out. How do you react when things don't go the way you planned? Do you throw up your hands and walk away? Or do you look for a plan B, and yes, sometimes even a plan C? Charles Darwin had a point when he said, "It is the one that is the most adaptable to change who survives." So when I got a call from the rental truck company that our moving truck was no longer available, should I have felt blessed or cursed? If you think about it, it's often our resistance to change that causes us the most problems in life. Generally, we get upset about when something doesn't work out the way we planned. Perhaps you spilled coffee on your favorite outfit on your way to work, and now you have to take the time to change. Or maybe your rental truck was not available, and you have to take the tour of Oregon to find a new truck. I like to say, there's no such thing as a problem, only a challenge that you need to find a solution for. For me, the solution to how we were going to get Amy and all her stuff home was our plan C. Our rental truck was canceled the day before we were supposed to pick it up, while we were sitting at Amy's graduation waiting for her to walk in. Yes, I had to take a lot of deep breaths to refocus and enjoy the moment, and I did. Now, instead of following my plan that I had on my Google Doc, I had to find another truck. And Being that it was graduation and move-out time for the 4 universities in Oregon, yes, that's what they kept telling me when I kept not being able to find a truck, and yes, I knew that because my daughter was graduating and moving out, I told them. Finally, we found a truck that was 2 hours away, so I put it on my Google Doc and updated the information, and the next day, Kenny and I set out to pick up the truck. When we got there, to our surprise, or maybe not, the truck had not been turned in by the previous person. Again, I had to take a few deep breaths and ask them if they could look for another truck anywhere else in the state. I was willing to drive anywhere to get that truck. They finally found a truck an hour and a half up the coast to Newport. So Kenny and I took the beautiful drive up the Oregon coast to Newport, and if anyone's ever in Oregon, it's a must-see destination. It's beautiful. This time, it all worked out, and we were able to get Amy packed up and moved back, but not without a lot of bumps in the road. And by the way, if Waze ever takes you on a detour around Sacramento traffic, stay in the traffic. That detour literally had potholes and bumps in the road. It was not a time saver. Now, I'd like to give you some simple strategies on how you can remain flexible when things don't go your way. First, expect that things probably will not go your way. This removes any frustration associated with change. Often, we have unrealistic expectations that things will go according to plan. Second, try not to attach yourselves to things always being a certain way. Be flexible. Be open to alternatives and solutions. Who knows? There might be other ways to do things that you haven't thought of. Third, look at change as a challenge. You have the choice to react and overcome those challenges. You don't have to lie down and take what life throws at you. So remember, when things don't go your way, try to find the solution and keep an open mind and an open heart. Oftentimes, really good things come out of bad situations. Shabbat Shalom.